I've been playing PC games for a very long time, but I don't know if I've ever been quite as active a PC gamer as I am today, and I think a large part of that is due to the fact that I've got the Steam Deck and I've been going crazy, playing lots of stuff on it, making a lot of video content about it, but I've also been playing a lot of games on my traditional PC gaming desktop. And actually, Intel and Dell sent me an Alienware Aurora R13 to review, along with a Dell gaming monitor. It's called the S2721DGF, which rolls off the tongue, but I got a chance to play with both of these devices working together, and I've got some thoughts for you right now. First of all, let's get into the specs of the Alienware Aurora R13. It's got a 12th generation Intel Core i7-12700F processor in it. The graphics card is an NVIDIA GeForce RTX 3070. In terms of memory, it's got 16 gigabytes of DDR5 RAM, and it's got a 512 gigabyte SSD in there, so you've got lots of fast read-write capabilities in this machine as well. In terms of input-output communication, this machine is absolutely bursting with ports. You've got a bunch on the front. You've got a headphone line out port, 2 times USB 3.2 Gen 1 ports, and a 1-time USB 3.2 Gen 1 port that also has PowerShare technology. And there's also a USB 3.2 Gen 2 Type-C port that also has PowerShare technology. So you've got a lot of ways to connect with the computer through the front ports, but the back ports are insane. First of all, there's a rear surround output, there's SPDIF digital output, there's side surround outputs, there's a microphone in, a line out, there's a USB 3.2 Gen 2 Type-C port at 10 gigabytes per second, and there's a USB 3.2 Gen 2x2 Type-C port at 20 gigabytes per second. There's actually 4 USB 2.0 Type A ports. There's a coax digital out, also SPDIF. There's center and subwoofer outputs. There's a line in for any of you music composers out there. And there's also 2 extra USB 3.2 Gen 1 Type A ports rated at 5 gigabits per second. And then it's got an RJ45 killer E3100 gigabit Ethernet port in there as well. So with all of that horsepower and all of those different communication abilities, you're going to be able to surround yourself with just some incredible PC gaming experiences. Let's take a look at the specs on the monitor. The screen size on the S2721 monitor is 27 inches. It's kind of right there in the name of the device. It's got a resolution of 1440p, and its native resolution is 2560 by 1440. Its aspect ratio is 16:9. It's an LED screen with an IPS panel, and it's got a 1 millisecond response time, so it's perfect for competitive gamers out there. The refresh rate is 165 hertz. The dynamic contrast ratio is 1000 to 1, and the color gamut is 133% of sRGB, so it's 98% of DCI-P3. So this machine will give you a beautiful image for sure. It doesn't come with built-in speakers, and I found that out the hard way. I kept turning things up, trying to hear things. I was in the front end. I didn't read all of the instruction books and manuals and stuff when I started to load this up. You're going to need to have a pretty decent speaker set if you pick up this combo, or if you just pick up the monitor separately. The monitor retails for about $700 Canadian, so you're going to find that probably in the $550 to $600 mark. That is a bit high for a monitor that doesn't have any speakers. It doesn't have a built-in webcam or anything like that, so you're going to need one of those as well if you're going to do some streaming and stuff. You probably would want to if you're going to use this as a professional-grade computer monitor to stream off of or to play competitively. But I can tell you, visually, it looks amazing. It has HDR capabilities, and games just pop off the screen. They absolutely look beautiful. It was weird because I have been testing out a couple of monitors recently, and they both had speakers built in, and the sound really adds to the experience that you get with the monitor. But visually, I had very little to fault with this thing. I've become a little bit spoiled by the ultra-wide that I've been gaming on recently that Huawei sent out to me, and I really love that monitor. But the crispness and the response time of this new Dell 2721 is terrific, and it was a great fit and a great pairing, a great partnership with the Aurora R13. And games like Forza Horizon 5 just looked absolutely staggering on this thing. In terms of ports, the monitor has two HDMI 2.0 ports, so you're still going to be able to get 120 frames per second at 1440p, but you're not going to be able to scale up to 165 hertz through HDMI, but of course it has a display port, which will deal with that no problem. There's also 4 USB 3.0 ports, and 1 headphone out jack and 1 audio line out jack, so you can attach those necessary speakers to this thing if you want to. Now, the ports are very smartly hidden behind the panel, which is actually backlit, which is a nice touch by Dell. But I found it incredibly frustrating to try to figure out where the ports go. Everything's black and blacked out, and the text was incredibly small and hard to read. I actually had to turn the whole monitor upside down to figure out where all of the plugs were going to go in this thing. So I was not amused by that. I thought it was kind of silly. And I know that there's this trying to keep everything minimalist and look really elegant and sleek and black and everything. But on the back of monitors and on the back of television sets, everything doesn't have to disappear into the black space void. You know, it shouldn't all be impossible to discern. And I don't know if that means having better touch-sensitive indicators around the ports or doing a white overlay so you can see where everything is clearly. It should be easier to find these freaking ports. And that's not just something that's exclusive to this Dell monitor. I find that with a lot of interfaces out there when you're trying to, especially for a person like me that's hooking up and unplugging and plugging in new stuff all the time to test it out. It's very frustrating when you can't find where the USB is supposed to go. All right, rant off. In terms of how this monitor performs when you do get everything plugged in, it's beautiful. I just missed the speakers. Now, over on the performance side of the computer, I wanted to throw some of the most demanding games at it that I could, so I started with Cyberpunk 2077, did some good streaming of that, and it's such a beautiful game that is really highlighted by the visual capabilities of this machine. Cranked everything up to full blast, and it was absolutely stunning. All of the ray tracing effects and the lighting and the details on the faces and the gun blasts and the combat that I was getting into, the driving around Night City, everything just looked sensational with this game. Forza Horizon 5 was maxed out and just an absolutely breathtaking escape. Every time I jump into that game, I don't want to think about anything else. I just want to escape into this game. And a computer as powerful as this R13 is really sort of evokes that and lets you disappear. Beautiful experience. Also threw in some Control Ultimate Edition. Control has always been one of these titles that has really challenged the hardware that it runs on, but not this time. It ran perfectly. And also, it's a very confusing, head-trippy experience to dive back into if you've been away from it for a little while, like I have, like deciphering where you're supposed to go in the maze of the map. But absolutely a profoundly cool and creepy getaway. I loved jumping back into Control for this. Also spent some time lugging some stuff around to Sam Porter Bridges and Death Stranding Director's Cut. And again, this is a sensational looking game. Uses a lot of the horsepower and the tech of the Horizon Zero Dawn engine, because Kojima Productions work with the folks over at Guerrilla Games to kind of tune and finesse and get the feel and the flair of their game together. It's a beautiful game. It really is. And the Director's Cut just heightens the gorgeousness. And again, you can turn everything up. You can also throw on the DLSS if you want to, take a little bit of a load off of the graphics card, but you don't really need to, man. It's just all systems firing and it runs perfectly on this machine. I also checked out Horizon Zero Dawn, which is a little bit older now. And of course, we've got Horizon Forbidden West out there, but Zero Dawn is no slouch in the looks department. And again, a breathtaking realization of just how beautiful Guerrilla Games' title is when you play it on hardware like this. Also, one of the best looking games ever made is Red Dead Redemption 2, and it can crunch less powerful machines quite easily, but this thing, everything cranked to 11, full blast, full bore, and again, we're going back into the Wild West, and it's such an indulgence to revisit these epics like this. That's one of the fun things about testing hardware and reviewing these computers when they get sent to me. Loved re-experiencing Red Dead Redemption 2 for a little bit. And a PC game that I always love to throw at any system that I'm testing at, including the Steam Deck, is Doom Eternal, and it's just wild to have everything fully cranked on this thing, all the HDR and the ray tracing and every sort of special effect that this game serves up. It's such a beautiful, customizable piece of software as well. It scales down and runs perfectly on the Steam Deck, but when you light up all the systems and take full advantage of what this game can do on hardware that can manage it, it is breathtaking. And the other thing that I wanted to do is throw a piece of software that I find to be kind of test software software for different systems that I've used over the last several years, including laptops and the Steam Deck. It doesn't run on the Steam Deck, by the way, but it runs perfectly on the Aurora R13. I checked out Spider-Man Shattered Dimensions, which Beanox made several years ago. It's been pretty much abandoned on Steam. I don't think Activision is actively updating this thing. I don't think Beanox can think about this. They're working on Call of Duty stuff. But this is an incredible game which allowed you to get into the suits of 4 different Spider-Men from across time, and I loved revisiting this. I streamed a whole bunch of it at twitch.tv/EPN, and it was a brand new experience for a lot of people that were watching the stream, so that was really cool. And it ran so perfectly on this machine. I got completely hooked, and basically it took over the rest of the stream. I had planned to test out some other software with everybody on that stream, but all I could play was Spider-Man Shattered Dimensions. And so the test of playing an older game on the Aurora R13, because sometimes there are some hiccups when you play some of these older games, but not this case. Spider-Man Shattered Dimensions was awesome and so much fun. If you haven't played that game, search it out. I'm pretty sure you're going to have a blast, especially if you're as big a fan of Spider-Man as I am. So I had great success testing out all of this software. Hitman 2 was also a beautiful experience. Hitman 3, anything I could think of to throw at this machine handled it with no problem. There's definitely some future-proofing technology in here. Alienware's done quite a bit to kind of redesign the interior to kind of allow you to customize it as you go, but out of the box, this pre-made machine is just wonderful. It also has Alienware Cryotech liquid cooling technology in here, and of course the different parameters that you can adjust for the colored lighting. You can adjust the ring around the Alienware head logo. You can light up the fan inside of the device as well, so it's very sleek looking. They sent me out the review unit with a pretty standard keyboard and mouse, but of course you can augment this R13 with some really cool light-up keyboards and a powerful gaming mouse, and you're going to be set. This thing is going to look beautiful. I love the design of it. I love the honeycomb look of the vents on the back. I love the spaceship-looking design of the device, and it paired up really nicely with the Dell monitor as well. Now, in terms of pricing for the R13, it's going to depend entirely on how you configure the device. You can get a 3080 card in there. Of course, you can get more storage. The setup that I was sent out was probably around 2,500 Canadian, so it's not too much. And the way that I've been thinking about this, it's still kind of difficult to track down graphics cards and to get the best value for your money. And I've been a guy that's put PCs together. I've had people assemble them for me and bought custom PCs over the years. And then I've bought a lot of off-the-shelf machines over the years as well, laptops and PC desktops. And I think that that is kind of the smarter way to go right now. There are just some really good deals with off-the-shelf pre-made PCs, branded PCs, and they don't always come with lots of clutter and bloatware. Like, this was a very clean system with Windows 11 pre-installed, and it just ran exactly the way that I wanted to. And the Alienware software that's included with this device is really there to just kind of keep the drivers updated and to manage the maintenance of the machine, but also to customize the color preferences that you have, because you can have it breathe or cycle through a bunch of different colors. I found it kind of funky and kind of cool. And I'm not a PC power user. I don't edit on PC. And so I like to have the PC kind of be set up to just play games on. But if it can handle games, and especially some of the games that I've been talking about today, it's going to be able to do anything that you want. I think with Alienware, you spend a little bit of extra money to kind of get the prestige and the attention to detail and the care that they put into their products, but the Aurora R13 is very, very solid. I'm going to give the Aurora R13, in my experience with it, a 9 out of 10, and the Dell S2721DGF monitor is also pretty sweet, but I think it should have come with speakers installed as well. I'm going to give that an 8 out of 10. Thanks for watching, everybody. Check out some of the other game reviews that we've been putting up on the channel, and don't forget to follow our Twitch channel, twitch.tv/EPN. I'm streaming fun stuff there all the time. Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you soon, and until then, play forever.